Hello, please state your name and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so my name is Jocelyn Gil Diaz. I'm a graduate from UCF in game design. It wasn't the first choice, but I did go into Valencia doing a video and audio production degree, and then my only two options at UCF actually were web or game design, so I chose game design just because I also have a gamer kind of history. So development process, it's like one of three steps in designing. We do take part in making the ideas, just brainstorming, but if we have a team rather than ourselves, then yeah, we incorporate everyone, the programmers, the art side, the publishing side, just to narrow down the ideas to one main idea. Well, it depends on the game. Like for example, something like Pong, it probably would take like a full day, a few hours. Something like a pixelated indie game from idea to completion would maybe be like, some people do it in less than 48 hours. Others, like Five Nights at Freddy's, I know the creator, he took like 6 months to create the entire thing. And lastly, stuff like big AAA games from idea to completion, they usually take 2 to 5 years. Some even take like 10 years, but it's usually 2 to 5. So. At first, I wasn't working a whole lot. Like the first half of my college, so it was alright with gen ed classes. But then the later half, the last 2 years, I did work jobs here and there. As I said, in the pre-production, the first step is designing everything. We have we start out with a main idea, but for games it's a lot more complex. So what they teach us is to make like 3 to 5 keyword sentences that describe the idea and mechanics of your game. And then after that, you can just, art side, you can kind of like skip the art side. You see you're just drawing like modeling stuff here and there, but if you skip it, you can just go straight to the prototype. That has no textured assets at all. And after all that's done, you basically just then start modeling, texturing, put sound in, music, etc. After publishing your demo, alpha, you get community feedback, and if you have to change anything, you can just upload it again. You can upload it on Steam, upload it through a studio, itch.io, which is popular for indie gamers. In my opinion, it would have to be the most recent one, The Last of Us Part 2, just because, in my opinion, I think it would probably take in like over 1,000 hours to render that entire game. In my opinion, it would have to be the most recent one, The Last of Us Part 2, just because, in my opinion, I think it would probably take in like over 1,000 hours to render that entire game. About this young boy in Japan, he gets lost from his parents and he has to travel these 3 worlds to fight these Japanese yokai, which is kind of like mythical Japanese monsters. Well, I would recommend storytelling, creative industries, and game testing. Game testing is a little something down the road, but those three especially.
Thank you for taking the time to answer these questions. Before we go, do you have any words of advice for those interested in game design?
Like trial and error, that's what gets you to succeed a lot faster. So like they kind of forget that with their big ideas, if they don't get through with their mechanics, they don't have a game. That's where a lot of companies throw out pitches, and gameplay is like the most important part of a game. So if you want to design something that has like 3,000 swords jump out of the ground, but you can't put that in code, then you gotta like restart the entire thing.